Hey guys, have you ever wondered why some digital PR campaigns are more successful than others? Well, PR is definitely unpredictable, but there are certain factors that make certain campaigns very successful. And in this video, I'm going to share with you guys the exact factors that we look at when determining whether to pursue a digital PR campaign idea or not. The initial factors that we look at are what we call our deal breakers. So number one is how easy is it to gather the data? You can have the best campaign idea in the world, but if it's impossible to gather the data for that campaign, then the campaign's not going to work, right? Like you can't do a campaign when you can't gather the data. So make sure you know how you're going to gather the data, whether it's by running surveys or by looking at existing databases and gathering data. Number two, does the campaign idea avoid touching on a sensitive subject? If your campaign idea is touchy-feely and gonna step on some people's toes or rub people the wrong way, then it's not going to land well in journalists' hands. They're going to just dismiss your idea altogether. Make sure that you're not covering controversial topics. Stay away from politics. Those types of topics don't work very well. Stay away from very polarizing topics, anything that's a little taboo. Stay away from those topics and just focus on the ones that are going to be well received by the media. Number three, does your campaign idea have broad enough appeal? This is where we're looking at factors pertaining to how appealing your idea is to journalists specifically. Are we creating a newsworthy campaign that everyone is going to be interested in reading, or is it going to appeal to just a very, very small percentage of the population that enjoy that topic? You want to make your campaign as appealing to everyone's mom, grandma, friends, teachers at school that can relate to everybody as much as possible. Number four, does your campaign idea elicit an emotional reaction out of people? Okay, think about your campaign idea and the findings of your campaign. If the findings end up very surprising, well, that's going to make for a very interesting campaign. If your findings trigger people to feel joy and happiness within, that's going to be great. People like feel good stories. Shock, pride, feel good sentiments. Those are the types of stories that get traction and get coverage. And now we're going to touch on originality and relevance. Okay, so how original is your topic? Has it been done before? Here's a caveat. So if your campaign idea has been done before, that doesn't necessarily mean it's not going to succeed. Make sure it has not been done within the past 2 years. Anything before that, it's old news. You can rehash the campaigns that are older than 2 years with no problem. Make sure your campaign idea is interesting and original. Do your due diligence. Go to Google News, see what's been covered, see if there's something out there right now that's currently being covered that's very similar to what you had in mind. Because if you're doing a campaign that's already being covered in the media, then your campaign's just not going to perform as well because it's already been, it's already out there. The next thing that we look at is the data easy to break down by states or by regions? And if that's the case, then great, because now you're able to go to local state-specific media outlets and pitch your press release to them. And that's going to help you land coverage in these smaller but very, authoritative media outlets that would be interested in covering your story, because now you have a very localized angle that they would be interested in covering because the findings from your campaign are pertinent to those local media outlets. And of course, you want to target national outlets as well, but you want to have a state by state breakdown that just makes for better, more relevant and interesting findings. Now you want to look at timing. Is your campaign relevant to the time of the year? Are you doing a campaign that's more relevant to the winter and you're doing it in the summertime? That's obviously a mismatch, right? People in the summer are all about, outdoors, summertime, the sun, travel, activities, right? So you have to consider the time of the year. And right now, obviously, it's summertime. So think about those factors. Think about what makes your campaign relevant to the now. And also think about it not just from like a seasonal standpoint, but also from a national sentiment standpoint. So what is kind of the mood of the land at the moment? What are people talking about? We're talking about the economy still. There's uncertainty about tariffs still, all that stuff going on right now. So be mindful of how that might play into your PR campaign. And then lastly, do you understand the topic? Is this something you're comfortable possibly even speaking to about with journalists? If they request a TV interview or something, are you comfortable speaking about this topic, or is this something that's completely foreign to you? You should be somewhat comfortable with this topic. Otherwise, it's just probably not a good one to pursue. These are the factors, guys, that we consider internally here at Bright Valley whenever we are brainstorming a PR campaign for a client. It's what we found to be very effective at helping us gauge whether or not a campaign is going to be a success. And of course, ultimately there's so many different factors that make a campaign successful that are outside of our control. And sometimes you just need a little bit of luck as well to get, have a viral campaign. But if you pay attention to these factors, you are going to increase the likelihood that your campaign is going to be a success. So if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, if you need help with a PR campaign, hit me up, Gabby at brightvalleymarketing.com, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.